Julie. Welcome back to Row & Co Farms. Today we're going to be making one of our favorite recipes to preserve, and that is what we like to call cowboy candy. Lots of people have heard of this, but basically it's candied jalapenos, and then we're going to be canning those and preserving those for future use. So what I'm going to be using this time is a combination of banana peppers and jalapenos. I grew most of these. I did also get some from a local farmer's market, but this is what I have so far. Normally cowboy candy is done with just jalapenos, but because I have so many of these banana peppers and we don't really like to eat ours plain, I'm gonna just be doing a mixture of this. It'll probably make the mixture a little less spicy than normal, but I'm hoping that it adds a little spice to the banana peppers and maybe calms the jalapenos down a little bit. So I think this will be a nice combination. So the things that we're gonna need for our recipe today are, of course, our peppers, some apple cider vinegar, some turmeric, just turmeric powder, some granulated garlic, some whole celery seeds, and sugar. And then of course I also have some canning jars, and I'm going to be using 1 pint, which is this size right here. We like this size. We go through about 1 pint a month. So my goal is by the end of the season to have at least 12 pints of this, so that we'll make it till next year. But if we get more, even better. So let's get started. I'm going to start by washing and chopping all of our peppers into just small little discs. That'll be step 1. Let's get to it. You can cut these into pretty big chunks, and I do not take the seeds out of mine. I leave all that in there. So while I'm finishing chopping my peppers, I'm gonna go ahead and start my water bath canner with water and let it get going, and I'm gonna add my jars in here so they can become sterilized. And then in this pot, I've got some more water that I'm gonna add my lids and rings to, so that those can be sterilized before we add all of our peppers into the jars. So let's mix up our brine liquid that's gonna go over this. I'm gonna do a double batch because I'm not sure if I'm gonna have enough with just one. And that's gonna include 4 cups of apple cider vinegar, 2, 3, and the next part is the sugar. Don't freak out, it is a lot of sugar. You're actually going to use 12 cups of sugar for this recipe. But what I like to do is, with any leftover brine, I'm going to just can up just the brine by itself because it's really good as a marinade. So I'm going to stir this up. All right, now to this mixture, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of turmeric powder. I may actually add just a little more. 1 full teaspoon of celery seed. And 6 teaspoons of granulated garlic. So my liquid is about to boil, and then I'm gonna let that go for about 5 minutes boiling, and then I'm gonna add my peppers to the liquid. So these are just a few of the canning tools that I like to use. This is a funnel. It fits exactly into the top of any canning jar, and that way you're not having food spill all down the side. This is a jar lifter, which goes down into the hot water, so you're not touching the boiling water, so this lifts your jars out. This piece here is a magnet. This also can go in and get your lids and rings out of the boiling water for you. This is very helpful as well. And then this actually does two things. This helps remove bubbles from the inside of your contents of your jar, and it also measures head space, which is important when you're measuring the inside, how much room you need to leave in your jar for your canning process. This helps you do that. So 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, and 1 inch head space for all those. So these usually come in like a kit, and they're pretty cheap to get, usually less than $10 will get you the whole set. All right, our liquid is boiling. We're going to add our peppers to it. We're going to let this cook for about 5 minutes at a boil. Once it comes back to a boil, and then we'll be ready to ladle everything into our jars. So all of the hot jars are getting removed from this hot water. So I'm going to use my slotted spoon and start packing these peppers into my jars. Okay, let's make sure that we wipe down the edges of our jars really well. We're going to place these jars into our water bath canner. That's just boiling water. We're going to let those process for 15 minutes. So it's been 15 minutes. Our jars have processed. I've let the water stop boiling. I've turned everything off, and now I'm just going to lift my rack out here. And then I'm just going to gently set all the jars onto a towel. I'm just going to keep them really steady. I'm already hearing little pings, which is great. We'll just set them on a towel, and we're going to let these just naturally come to room temperature on their own. We're not going to touch them. We're not going to mess with them. We're just going to leave them alone. And over the next couple of hours, probably honestly over the next 30 minutes, these jars will start to seal, which means that the little spot on top that is rounded will suction down like that. That little ping. This one's already done it. This one's already done it. That one's done it. This one has already done it, but we still have a few left here. I'll try to get a little bit closer view so you can really see what I'm talking about. So you can see here, this is still rounded right in the middle, and this one has already become concave. Okay, another one just popped. Well, our jars have been sitting. They have cooled off. I've removed the rings, and I've written on the tops what is contained in the jar so I don't forget. And then these are ready to be placed on the shelf. I hope this helped you out today, guys, and you got a little inspiration on what you can do with your peppers. Can't wait to see you guys next time here at Row & Co Farms.